Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of my crypto investing series. Today we're going to be talking about XRP, which is the cryptocurrency by Ripple Corporation. So we've already spoken about XRP in my September video. I mentioned how it is one of my largest holdings. And I spoke about the price fluctuations that can happen and how it can reach £1 in my September video. And incidentally, last week I'd even tweeted about it, where in 1 or 2 days, in a couple of days, literally, it jumped up nearly 160%. If you had bought it for £100, it would have become like 160 pounds. If you bought it for like 1,000 rupees in India, it would have become like 2,600 rupees in literally a couple of days. From the time I had posted, it has almost jumped up nearly 200%. So, if you had bought it for, whatever amount you had bought it for, it would have been like 3 times that money by now in the last couple of months. Why did it jump so much? And also there is a news that is out there in the market saying there is a free Spark token that is being given for XRP holders, which is coming in December. What is this free Spark token airdrop? What does it mean for XRP? Why is the price going up? Where does it go from here? Do we buy it now? Do we hold it? Should we sell it after the December airdrop? What do we expect from the airdrop? Why is this airdrop being even done? We're going to be talking about it very comprehensively. I'm going to explain about everything in detail. So another disclaimer is that this is also going to be a lengthy video, probably about 30 minutes. Like I've always said, the interpretation of any information is what is critical to make a decision. So, information is always out there. You can have a one-liner saying that there is an airdrop happening, but unless you have an interpretation and a comprehensive understanding of the information, you will not be able to make a meaningful decision out of it, which is what I've attempted to do. I've prepared a very detailed document. I'm going to go through it and explain it fundamentally, what it means for this airdrop, what it means to XRP, what it means to the ecosystem and the value of XRP, and what happens specifically on the 12th of December, and what you need to do as an XRP holder. So as usual, I have a document which I've explained it in detail with regards to the XRP Spark token. So first thing is, if you're not following me on Twitter, you can probably follow me on Twitter because I post constant updates. I don't post that frequently on YouTube, but in Twitter, I post frequent updates. Whenever I see a price movement or whenever I see anything that is material enough, I post it in Twitter as well. So, which is where I posted about the first time where I did a 150% plus jump. So, XRP jumped from nearly about 23 cents to about 64 cents in the last few weeks. It was roughly about 160% up this month and about 200% this year, I would say. And one of the possible reasons that it could be because of the free Spark token by the FLR network that is coming up on the 12th of December. So there is a one-liner statement that you would have probably heard about if you heard about this, that there's a Spark token that's being newly created or newly introduced, and XRP holders are going to get free Spark tokens on the 12th of December. Now, it's not as simple as that. So we're going to be looking at a bit more detail and what you need to do if you are an XRP holder. So first of all, what is the Spark token? So before we see that, right, you need to understand what is a blockchain fork. A blockchain fork is, all the blockchain, it's basically a software. It's running on multiple nodes of, the machines that are supporting it on the network. And when all of the machines are running, they usually run on the same software version. And developers, open source or whatever the software, when it's an open source software, especially, right, for blockchain, like Bitcoin, for example, the developers constantly keep, proposing updates or keep proposing, it could be security updates, it could be performance updates, it could be new functionality. They could be proposing updates to the blockchain software version. And if let's say all the software is running on software version A, and if all of the developers have a consensus and they all agree, and all of the nodes agree, node owners agree, then the whole ecosystem moves from software version A to software version B. All of the nodes move from one software version to another software version. This is very common that happens in the background, and we don't even get to know about it when the node versions changes. Only the people who are doing the mining or running the blockchain nodes, they actually have to do some work behind it. We as a crypto user or a crypto holder, we don't have to worry about it. There is a voting or a consensus that happens, whether or not this software can go ahead and whether or not everybody accepts it. What happens if there is no consensus, right? If all the developers don't reach a consensus, something called a soft fork can happen, wherein many of the nodes can choose to remain in the older software version and those who have agreed can go into the newer software version. So both these software versions can actually run in parallel, where a few nodes are running the older version, a few nodes are running the newer version. There is a cross compatibility issue. This is all behind the scenes. We still don't need to know about it. We still don't need to worry about it. But this is called as a soft fork. Now the issue comes when the nodes that are not agreeing, the developers or the nodes that are not agreeing, they don't want to exist in the same ecosystem. They branch off and create a separate coin. And the example is like when Bitcoin was hard forked into a new coin called Bitcoin Cash. This whole process of completely detaching from the core basic digital token and creating a new digital token is called as hard forking. And Bitcoin Cash, when it was created, there was a bit of a disruption to the value of Bitcoin. And today, Bitcoin is about $17,700. Bitcoin Cash is about $275 in November 2020. But again, both are now existing as two different crypto assets, and you can actually trade both of your assets. You can basically trade each other as well. But this is a hard fork. And there is another common example where people actually copy the entire blockchain software, create an alternative version of it with changes or modifications. None of the nodes participate in the new blockchain, but they create new nodes or they go with new partners. And an entirely new coin is created, which has nothing to do with the base coin. It's just a copy of the existing coin. For example, Bitcoin was copied and created as the whole open source code was copied and created as an entirely new cryptocurrency called as Litecoin, which was much lighter than, as its name suggests, it was more lighter in processing than the Bitcoin. So in this scenario, an entirely new coin is created using a copy mechanism. Again, this is an example of blockchain fork. Now, this is what is going to happen to Ripple. In all of these scenarios, there is a substantial price volatility whenever a fork happens, because you're basically taking away customers, you're taking away blockchain nodes from the base currency to the new currency. And in most cases, like Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, for example, trading gets suspended sometimes for both the coins. Mining is affected because the node owners need to decide which currency they're going to support, which version of the software they're going to run. There is a bit of work that needs to be done in the background. And as a user, we also get to get impacted because of the prices being volatile and because of the deposits and withdrawals being suspended. The original token loses a bit of value. There's a lot that happens and it's quite visible. So why is the Spark token different? Because what they are doing is, so FLAR network is the network as this organization behind this forking. They're going to copy the XRP protocol into an entirely new protocol called as FXRP protocol. And what they're aiming to do is the world's first utility fork, which is aimed at bringing more utility and more value to the original currency that they're actually forking from or copying from. So, none of the forks before had actually brought more value to the original currency. Like, Bitcoin Cash, when it was created, it actually reduced the value of Bitcoin because of a impact that it created. But what they're attempting to do with the FLAR network is that they're creating a token called the Spark token, which is FLR is the code of the token. And they're trying to create more value for the XRP digital currency or the XRP ecosystem. How are they aiming to do that? That's what we're going to look at. So in our episode 1, we spoke about smart contracts and about the impact that it is creating in the multi-billion-dollar market. Smart contracts are basically a trustless contract or a trustless economy where you can easily create financial contracts between two parties without having a trust in between them. So that's a trustless economy that is being created. And we also spoke about in our episode 1 how this it's a multi-billion-dollar industry or a multi-billion-dollar market where in the last couple of years it has probably increased by 3,000, 4,000 times in terms of the value that it was existing before in 2018 as compared to 2020. So it's a rapidly increasing market and it's an untapped market right now. What FLAR network are claiming is that 75% of the value, despite the fact that it's a multi-billion-dollar market, what FLAR network are claiming is that 75% of the value in the public blockchain, in public blockchain domain, cannot be used in smart contracts because of various reasons, but primarily because they don't support a trustless ecosystem, which is the fundamental requirement for creating a smart contract. Also, the scalability issues that exist in those blockchains. For example, one of the common methods to avoid scalability is to use proof of stake instead of proof of work, so that you're not dependent on the computing power of multiple computers. Scalability is important because if 1,000 users are using it, it works fine. If 10,000 users use it, it kind of slows down. And if millions of users are using it, it slows down even worse. Like for example, Ethereum is a classic example where if there is not much congestion, if nobody is actually buying or selling, you can actually transfer Ethereum from one wallet to another wallet in minutes. But whereas there is congestion, then it takes it takes more time, and sometimes I've even waited for hours and hours to transfer Ethereum from one wallet to another wallet because there's so much congestion and the fees is so high. So it's definitely not scalable. The current existing proof of stake or proof of work, the blockchain technology is not scalable right now for these smart contracts, is what Flower Network is mainly claiming. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to solve these two problems, these two limitations with their innovative protocol, the changes that they're making to the XRP protocol using the Spark token. And also what they're doing is they're not leaving out XRP, copying from XRP and creating a Spark token. They're not leaving out XRP. They're still giving value back to the XRP, which is what is unique about this this whole concept that they've created. So technically, the Flower Network has created a white paper which goes in detail about how the Spark token works and how this is put into practice. And it's a very fascinating white paper to read if you want to go into the technical details about it. But for the purpose of this video, we'll stick to that level of technical details. We'll not go beyond it because otherwise it will become extremely technical. But in essence, what they've created is they've branched off a new protocol from XRP called as FXRP, and they're using that FXRP for enabling the smart contract. So in rough words, right, anybody who's holding XRP, they can actually provide XRP as a collateral into this FXRP network. And in the internal mechanism of FXRP will use it, convert it into Spark tokens, and will create the smart contracts. And essentially, because the person has provided the XRP as a collateral, he will get XRP tokens as a reward back. And that's basically how they're enabling more value for the XRP ecosystem. So, essentially, XRP holders can, how the staking works, they can actually provide it as a collateral to the whole ecosystem of Flower Network, and they can get XRP back. That's a summary in a nutshell, I would say. So what does it mean for XRP as an ecosystem, right? So today we know that XRP, the main fundamental utility is the cross-border transactions, where you want to transfer money from one currency to another currency, one country to another country. You use XRP as a intermediate mechanism, and the Ripple protocol uses the XRP token to easily transfer currency from one country to another country, one currency to another currency in a matter of seconds, where it used to take hours, like in the SWIFT system, for example. We've already spoken about it in some of our previous videos. Now, with the Spark token, XRP will have two utilities, or two fundamental utilities. One, the cross-border transaction is still going to be continuing as it is. It's not touching it, and there is no diminishing in the value of XRP using the utility of cross-border transactions. But they're creating a entirely new utility using this collateralized smart contract system in the FXRP network that they're creating, where they are converting the XRP into Spark tokens and using it in the smart contract network, which would mean the XRP's utility value will increase. And when the utility value increases, the price of XRP should also go up, which is what they're aiming to do. The value of the XRP ecosystem should also go up because of the utility value that they are creating in addition to the existing utility of XRP. So with this said, which is why they are rewarding XRP holders with Spark tokens when the coin goes live, because it's a complete copy of the XRP coin. It's a complete copy of the ecosystem. So they are actually rewarding all of the XRP holders with Spark tokens that are being created when the network goes live. So today there are 100 billion XRP tokens in total, right? And there's a 1:1 ratio. So they're going to create 100 billion Spark tokens, which is 100 billion FLR basically. So if it was a 1:1 ratio, it's as simple as that. But we all know that only 45 billion XRP is in available supply. The rest of the 55 billion is still in the Ripple escrow, so it's not released to the market yet. So they're going to follow a similar distribution at level 0, where only 45 billion Spark tokens will be issued to the holders to begin with, and the rest of the 55 billion will be split across between Flat Networks Limited and FLAR Foundation, where one is a for-profit network, another is a controlling organization, but basically essentially the same organization. So like how Ripple has done, they're going to still control the 55 billion Spark tokens within themselves. 45 billion of Spark tokens is being issued and distributed to the XRP holders. Now, if there is still no other ifs and buts or conditions, basically, then every XRP holder will get one Spark token, which means that if you have 100 XRP tokens, you will get 100 FLR. But then again, further exclusions come into play where certain type of XRP holders are excluded from the distribution, which means that the ratio will not be 1:1. So who are getting excluded? So first of all, we need to look at the fact that participating and non-participating exchanges. Some exchanges have decided not to cooperate with the FLAR network despite their repeated attempts to reach them, and they are not going to be allowing FLAR network to do the airdrop for their users. And a lot of exchanges have already cooperated with FLAR network and confirmed their agreement with FLAR network. Crypto.com, BitTrue, WazirX, for example, Uphold, Binance, they've all confirmed. But Binance US, Coinbase, Kraken, they have basically openly said that they're not going to cooperate with FLAR network, which means that if you hold your XRP with these exchanges, then you will not get the free airdrop of Spark tokens. And some exchanges, they have said that they are going to support the FLAR network Spark token distribution. But FLAR network have in turn said that they have not been approached by those exchanges. Poloniex is an example where Poloniex have said on their help desk website saying that they are going to support it. FLAR network has openly come out and said, we have not been in contact with the Poloniex, or they haven't contacted us to arrange the mechanism of airdrop, so we're not actually still supporting it. And you can see the full list in that link that I'm giving. I'll attach the link to my description as well. So it is getting updated on a daily basis. This is as of 28th of November. And you can actually see all of this information if you follow FLAR networks on the Twitter page. They constantly keep updating every network, every exchange when they are engaging with the exchange. You can openly see the dialogue that happens between those exchanges as well. The Poloniex again is an example where Poloniex have said that they are supporting it on their Twitter page. FLAR had responded back to Poloniex saying that they're not supporting it yet because they have still not contacted them directly in terms of the distribution mechanism. So it's useful to go to that link and also follow FLAR networks on the Twitter page. So what it leaves us is that the further exclusions that apply for the holders, right? So if there are any Ripple owned outside of the escrow, there are still the distributed Ripple tokens or in-use XRP tokens that are still owned by Ripple Corporation. So if there are any Ripple owned addresses, Ripple is the controlling organization, if there are any Ripple owned addresses and accounts, they will still be excluded. It's still the company accounts. So this distribution is only for the general public, which means that they will still be excluded. Non-participating exchanges, like we just said, will be excluded. And if there are any accounts that have obtained XRP through fraud or theft, like in the blockchain world, if you commit a fraud or a theft, you can always trace back all of the addresses which had participated in the fraud or theft, and you know that you can tag those addresses as those addresses which had obtained the XRP using a fraud or a theft. And any known addresses like that and accounts are going to be excluded from the distribution as well, because they didn't obtain it in a fair way. So, which would theoretically mean that once you exclude that, the ratio is going to be above 1. Now, I've done a sample calculation. This is not an accurate calculation, but I've used a fairly simple calculation to just show you how much it could be. For argument's sake, basically, if 45 billion is distributed like this, 22.25 is the participating exchanges and Ripple owned is 10. Fraud addresses are 2.25 and non-participating is 10 billion. Then roughly you get like half the participating exchanges are the eligible ones for distribution, which means the ratio will be 1:2. 45 billion Spark tokens distributed across to 22.25 XRP tokens is like 1:2 ratio, which means that every XRP holder can get 2 Spark tokens. So if you have 100 XRP tokens, then you might be eligible for getting 200 FLAR tokens in the right exchange. But again, it will vary depending on the factors described. But from what we know, it is already going to be above 1 is the explanation that we've just given. So what's going to happen? On the 12th of December 2020 is the deadline by which all of the token holders should have moved their XRP to a supported exchange or a supported custodial wallets. If you have a non-exchange wallet, for example, like Atomic Wallet or for Engine Wallet, then those are also supported. Need not be connected to the exchange. You don't need to move it to a supported exchange just because you want the Spark token. There is a detailed steps that is given in the Flower Network webpage where you can actually follow it if you have a custodial wallet to obtain these Spark tokens. So on the 12th of December, all of the XRP balances will be snapshotted, which means that they will take a snapshot at that point of all of the balances in all of the supported exchanges to say that this is how much XRP they have. And based on that is when the calculation will happen and the distribution will begin based on the snapshot that is taken on that particular day, on the 12th of December. But you will not get all of you have 1000 XRP, then you will not get all of the 1000 Spark tokens all at once on the 12th of December. That's just the snapshot day and the deadline for the snapshot day. So roughly 15% of the tokens, eligible tokens, like if you're eligible to get like 1000 or whatever, 15% of it, like 150 tokens, would be distributed on day one of the network launch, which is in spring 2021. For argument's sake, I've said March 2021. And the remaining is distributed randomly every month in a decreasing capacity over a 25 to 34 month schedule. So you could basically get the remainder in the next 3 years. And it keeps decreasing on a month-on-month basis. For example, you have 2000 XRP and the ratio is 1.5, then you are eligible for 3000 FLR tokens. So 15% of it is 450 FLR, which will be given to you. 450 Spark tokens will be given to you on day one, whenever the network launches on, let's say, 31st of March 2021. On 31st of March 2021, whichever exchange that you are holding your XRP, in that exchange, a Spark token address will be created and you'll be distributed FLR tokens on that particular day. The remaining 2550 FLR is allocated to you randomly every month till you get your entire token allocation, and it will keep decreasing on a month-on-month basis. This is done so that there is a lot of reasons behind it, but it's basically done to make sure that there is enough liquidity in the FLR space, and it makes sense as well. But what do you need to do? If you're already holding your XRP in a supported exchange like Crypto.com or WazirX or BitTrue for that matter, you don't need to do anything. They have already confirmed, both Flower Networks as well as these exchanges have already confirmed that they'll automatically get your free Spark tokens. Even if you put it into a staking, for example, if it's in a Power Piggy in BitTrue, it still counts. But if you have actually collateralized it and taken a loan against it, then it won't count because you don't own it actually outright. But you can keep it in a staking wallet, like in BitTrue, you can put it in Power Piggy. Doesn't matter, you still own it and you still get the benefit out of it. But if you hold your XRP in an unsupported exchange like Kraken or any exchanges that have still not confirmed support for it, then you have to move it to a supported exchange if you want the free token. If you don't, then you will not be included in the airdrop process. You will not be even counted towards the free airdrop calculation in that sense. If you self-custody using the custodial wallets that I just described, then there are steps that can be followed on the Flower site where you can apply for the airdrop if you're not connected to an exchange for that matter, right? So what happens exactly on the 12th of December? What to expect on the 12th of December? The time that the snapshot is going to be taken is 00 hours GMT on 12th of December. So in US, there will be a different time. It will probably be still 11th of December in US. And in India, for example, it will be 5:30 in the morning on 12th of December. So the time zone will vary, but the time that it's going to be taken is the same for all of them. So which technically mean that many exchanges will actually start freezing the deposits and withdrawals. They'll start suspending the deposits and withdrawals to allow for the snapshot to happen efficiently. So that during the snapshot, the XRP tokens aren't moving between one exchange to another or one address to another. So they wouldn't want it to be in transit and the snapshot loses out on the balance, right? So for example, WazirX have said that they're going to start suspending the deposits and withdrawals 2 hours before the snapshot happens, by 3 a.m. IST, 2.5 hours before the snapshot happens. So if you are in a network, I would suggest that if you are actually going to buy or move, whatever you're going to do it by at least the 11th of December or even by the 10th of December. It's always better to do it like at least 1 day or 2 days before, and don't make any movements during the last day, because if there's a network congestion, if your XRP doesn't arrive, then you might end up in a soup. So, whatever you want to do it like at least a day or two before the snapshot gets taken, if you're interested in the Spark token airdrop. So what could happen? What does this mean for XRP, right? The value could go up from now till 12th of December. A lot more people could come up because retail investors are now coming up, hearing about XRP, hearing about a free token airdrop being done for holders of a particular coin, new utility being brought onto XRP. So this all could mean that the value could go up for XRP leading up to the 12th of December. And later on, when the smart contract gets introduced, when the Flower network comes on, when the Spark tokens come on, the value could increase or decrease after March 2021, depending on the usage of the Flower network, the adoption of the Flower network, the adoption of the FXRP protocol, and everything else. But what is going to happen right now in the next 2 weeks, right? So all the information, all that we have explained till now is information, is basically data. This part is going to be speculation based on that information. It's basically speculation based on that information that we've just described right now. There's a lot of new demand for retail investors, from retail investors, which would also mean that institutional investors will come into play, because when they see that there is a lot of demand from retail investors, always institutional investors will come into play. These are large investors who probably trying to buy it, inflate the price, and sell it and move out of the ecosystem before the snapshot happens. All they're interested in making a quick profit before the snapshot happens. They are not going to be interested in the Spark airdrop. For all you know, they might be, but typically institutional investors make use of this kind of opportunity where there is a demand, there is an expected demand. They come in, they quickly buy, sell, make like 100%, 200% profit, and move out. So this is something to watch out for. In theory, because of the institutional investors pulling out, there could be a drop before the 12th of December snapshot, because they basically mass selling it and taking out all the profits. And so there could be a drop before the 12th of December 2020. And after the snapshot, retail investors could be selling, immediately after the snapshot. Now the snapshot is taken, you don't need to hold the XRP. You will anyway get the Spark token. And when they start to see a fall in the price, they'll probably panic. A lot of retail investors, new investors, probably will panic, and panic selling will happen, which could also mean that the price will go down. So you need to decide your priorities. You need to keep this in mind and make a psychological decision before understanding that these things could happen, and stop your panic buying, stop your stop losses first of all. So again, a bit more speculation, right? Just comparing, what would happen if you hold or if you don't hold, for example. Now, Spark tokens that get, if you don't hold till the 12th of December, Spark tokens that get distributed, we don't know what the value is going to be. All we can do is, speculate what the value could be. Right? The Spark token, one Spark token could just be 1 cent, like 1 rupee, or it could be $10, for example, 740 rupees. So if you hold 1000 XRP today, it's roughly about $600 or about 46,000 rupees in Indian value. And if the Spark token is only 1 cent, right, then 150 Spark tokens, say 15% that you get on March 2021, based on a 1:1 ratio. I'm just using an example. It could be only worth like $1.5. $600 worth of XRP could get you only like $1.5 of Spark tokens, 150 rupees. So 46,000 rupees versus 150 rupees is practically nothing. So all of the effort could have been for nothing. On the other hand, we don't know, how much value the Spark token of the FXRP system could attract from the industry at that point when it launches. There are tokens like YFI, for example, which have huge values. So if Spark token even comes anywhere nearer to that value, then it could probably launch a $10 price range, for example, right? 750 rupees, which technically means 150 Spark tokens in March 2021, the first tranche, not the entire tranche, could be worth like $1,500. So if your $600 XRP could get you like $1,500 worth of Spark tokens. So it is up to you to decide, how much are you willing to take the risk, or how much are you willing to accept the fact that XRP, even if it comes down, I can be compensated by Spark tokens. So that's basically a bit of a risk taking that you need to do at this point. If the XRP value reaches $1, for example, from now till December 2021, right? December 2020, 12th of December 2020, between the next 2 weeks. And let's say, argument's sake, you're already in 100% profit. I mean, I'm probably in like more than 100% profit. So it's exceeding the theoretical value I just described. And you might probably want to take some profit. So my strategy, I've always said this, realize profits, because unrealized paper profits probably cause you more regret than the fact that you keep thinking that I could have waited a bit longer. So always make sure that you realize some profits, and you could probably keep one portion that you're going to realize profits, keep one portion in your mind that you're actually going to hold for the Spark token airdrop. So that's again my strategy, and like I said, I'm not an investment advisor. I've just explained all the information out to you so that if you didn't get all of this information from a single site, or you weren't able to understand it, hopefully this video helped you understand everything that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, and also later with regards to the Spark token airdrop. So again, if you found this useful, please post your comments and give me your feedback. Until next time, thank you.